All right, everyone. Everyone knows that we have the racks and the cable pulley system in studio for the last few weeks. We don't have to start cleaning into our front squats anymore. We can use the J hooks, and we can do some barbell bench press, and we can do a variety of squats: front squat, back squat, sumo squat. So I'm going to go over some of the movements. We've done most of the movements with bands. The main difference being is that bands, the resistance obviously starts to get a little bit more as you pull towards yourself. With the cables, it's more of like a constant resistance all the way through. They are kind of somewhat easier as well in your joints for simple things like bicep curls, tricep pushdowns. You might find them a little bit easier sometimes than doing dumbbell work. So yeah, follow me through this. We will go through some movements that are going to be upcoming in the next few weeks. Movement number one, guys, is going to be a straight arm pull down with the short bar. So same as you would when we had the bands, similar kind of movement pattern. It's still kind of working the lats and the erectors as we come down. So we're going to come in, set your adjustment before I do. We can set our adjustment here. And just make sure, guys, sometimes you might have to push the bar up just a little bit so it slots in smoothly to your allotted weight. We're going to come in. I like to go just about shoulder width. So again, we're going to take a step back. We're going to just slightly send the hips back, and then without bending our elbows, we're going to draw a nice big arc and then coming up nice and slow. So again, it's a constant resistance all the way down, all the way back up. You can slightly lean forward more if you get a bit of a better stretch. And again, we're looking for pretty high volume here. Make yourself nice and wide at the bottom, and that bar should be touching somewhere around that hip level, without bending the elbows too much. And then we're going to move on to some basic kind of posterior chain upper body movements with the rope. Again, think kind of high volume for these movements. Number one, think like upper back, rhomboids, rear delts. We're going to come into our face pull. You can go staggered stance if you want to. You can go regular stance. Just make sure avoiding kind of arching the back too much. I like to go, this silver part is going to come to my lower lip and just get a nice big contraction at the back. So we're going to stand nice and tall. We're going to roll as much as we can. If you find that you're arching or anything, your lower back is taking over, usually I tell people to do like a staggered stance variation. You can even come into a half kneeling stance if you want to, and then we're just going to come into that high row as well. So for the high face pull, again, we're thinking kind of more of our upper back. If you're going to do more of like a low row variation, the same thing, staggered, regular, you can go half kneeling. And we're just going to roll to here. So again, we're kind of targeting more of our mid-back, making ourselves nice and wide every single repetition even. And now we're going to get some tricep work in there. Again, I'm going to show you like a few variations. So you can just come into your regular tricep push down, elbows nice and tight. We're going to slightly lean forward. I like to go pinkies on the outside, doesn't matter too much. We're going to come to here. And then we're just going to really get that outer head of that triceps. Nice and slow down. Again, just I see people sometimes coming like all the way up from here. We're starting here, elbows nice and tight, and you're pulling your pinky away at the very end. Another variation that you might see in F45 could be like an overhead variation. And if I'm showing people this sometimes, I usually go staggered stance for this one. We're going to come over, and then we're just going to extend, and then come back. Again, try to keep the elbows relatively tight, extend, and then come back. Guys, we can go from kind of tricep to bicep if you're feeling it. We can use the straight bar as well if you want to, boom. Or you can just use the row pulls as well. So again, we're going to come up, same thing, slight lean back, elbows nice and tight. We're not going to heave the weight, just trying to get as much blood flow into that bicep as possible. For this one, we're going to use both pulleys at the same time. If you're going to do it, just make sure that there's equal amount of weight on both stacks. You don't want one arm heavy, one arm light. So we're going to just do a variation of a pull down, of a lat pull down even. Again, you can play around with this. You can go double kneeling position. You can go half kneeling position if you want to. I'm just going to go double kneeling today. Nice mat underneath us. Few variations, guys. We're going to add a bit of a tempo on this one. So again, I'm not extending so much from my lower back. I'm going to be at a position where my hands are relatively tall and locked out, and we're just going to come in to that pull down variation, to that lat pull down. I like to supinate the hands a little bit, and then if you want to add a tempo, 3, 2, 1, get that nice deep stretch, and then come straight down again. You can do a variation with a straight arm without supinating the hands, coming straight down, and then coming straight back up again. I always like to add a little bit of a tempo if it's any kind of like a vertical pull. We just did some lat pull down variations. Now we're going to do some chest flies. It might be either a high, medium, low variation. Again, stance is up to you. You can kind of lean forward a little bit into it if you want to. You can go for a staggered stance, same as our dumbbell flies, guys. As you come away, I like to bend the elbow a little bit, wrap that pec around the ribs, and then we're going to come down. Some people like to even cross over the arms at the end to get that extra stretch. That's up to you. And then we're just going to come all the way down. A nice deep stretch. Again, you can kind of add that tempo if you've got the cable, get that mind muscle connection, and then a nice big contraction of that mid. So now we're going to do some direct barbell work. So as you can see, we don't have to clean up our squats anymore. So you're going to be making some serious squat gains. So I'm just going to show you some variations of a back squat. You can do like a high bar, low bar position. Usually high bar is kind of more like quad dominant, so the front of your legs, and then usually you can lift a little bit more with that kind of low bar squat variation. You can face in or out of the racks. I'm going to just show you the stance I take facing in, and then I'll show you the stance I'm going to take facing out. So usually I go my baby finger kind of from that kind of first kind of laceration on the bar. Same thing, baby finger. I'm going to create that shelf on my upper back. I'm nice and tight. Take 1 or 2 steps back from the bar, from the J-hooks even, and then I'm going to sink into that squat. You can do like a low bar variation as well. So the low bar will be kind of just lower down on my traps. Same thing, I might go like a little bit wider for this low bar variation. And then usually I'm kind of much stronger on this. Same thing, brace, breathe in, we're going to come down, exhale from that sticking point, and then drive. I'm just going to show you the exact same thing from facing out of the rack if people choose to do so. So again, I'm going to come to here, baby finger on the kind of first laceration for me. I've got a pretty short wingspan. We're going to go high bar, come out, take 1 or 2 steps out. Nice proud chest, spread the floor away with my toes, and then as I squat, create that tension, coming down, exhale from that sticking point. Again, you can do more of a low bar variation if you want to, usually stronger on this, coming down, and then drive. Now I am going to show facing out. I'm just going to show kind of how to do the lift off for a front rack. Again, some people don't have that kind of mobility to come into that proper front rack. So again, we're going to create that nice shelf. One hand comes over, one hand comes over. This is if you don't have the mobility to come into a proper front rack. Step up, take 1 or 2 steps out. Keep the elbows nice and high, create that tension. And then walk back up again. And if you do have mobility to get into that proper front rack, you can come forward. You can go 1, 2, 3 fingers if you want to. I go to go 2. I'm going to get those elbows high. Again, take 1 or 2 steps out. Spread the floor away. And then we're going to come nice and slow down. Drive up. The main thing I see people fail in the front squat is that the elbows start to drop. So as I come down, I'm not bracing correctly, I start to fall forward, I might start to lose it. Trying to keep the elbows high, come out of that end position. And now we're just going to go over the safety bars. Before using the squat rack, set up the safety bars, trying to find your squat depth, and then bring the safety bars maybe an inch or 2 below that squat depth of your parallel or below parallel squat. And then I'm just going to show you how to fail a squat safely. Roughly my baby finger even is on that kind of first laceration on the bar. I'm going to come in, stand tall, 1 or 2 steps back from the J hooks. I'm going to come down. First rep was good. If I fail on the second rep, I'm just going to let the bar slide, and then we can come forward. And then finally, guys, we're just going to show you how to bench and fail a bench correctly. Ideally, you'll have a spotter, because sometimes it can take a bit of time to set up the perfect safety bar height with the bench. But in an ideal situation, we're going to come in, J hooks are set, safety bars are set. Again, play around with just the bar, no load. I'm going to come in, trying to create as much tension on the bar as I can. I'm going to try to squeeze that bar, slight arch. I'm going to stand up, or pull up even, and now from here, I'm going to press. So I'm not touching the bars as of yet. I've got that kind of slight arch going. Getting that full ROM. And then if I wanted to fail, I can just kind of leave that go. Just roll it above your neck, and you're pretty safe here. The coach will be left or right. You can kind of slide back out if you want to. But yeah, that's how to fail a bench.